Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to next Industry 5.0 keynote speech, this time dedicated to waste prevention in America. My name is Mike Rada. I'm human and I'm the founder of Industry 5.0. And before we start, let me ask you two questions. The first one is who we are, because we have many titles. We are students, managers, presidents, chairmen. We are producers, teachers, fathers and mothers. We have many titles, but with every single one we are forgetting one. We are human beings. Not like this man on country art of Pilsen Brewery, we are living ones. And if we do realize who we are, let me ask you the second question. Where do we live? Because we live in beautiful cities like Rublev, like Pilsen, and this is the city from which, the building from which I'm speaking to you from. Like Paris, like Brussels. We are living in beautiful cities which we fill with trash. We are working in factories which produce in one day more trash than a city in a month. We produce products which frequently before using the end user become trash as well, and we store them in big metal houses filled with air, calling for more big metal houses to be built to store our waste inside. And at the end of our shift, we leave next to the output of our production, and we arrive home, and maybe we realize that something what was called food before is called bio-waste today. And we look at the red sky above our head, asking ourselves, where do we live? I will answer this question to you today and much more. Maybe you ask yourself, what is Industry 5.0? So let me introduce it to you. Industry 5.0 is the first industrial evolution ever led by man, by human. It is built on principles of systematic waste prevention, industrial upcycling, and it recognizes and prevents 5 types of waste: physical, social, urban, process, and wasting of time. Industry 5.0 was launched on December 1st, 2015, but its principles I'm implementing since 2013 already, and this is why Industry 5.0 helped already to prevent more than 10 million metric tons of products and materials to become waste. What is the existing reality? I was born on December 24th, 1971. At the day our planet was called blue marble. But few years ago, the planet was not blue anymore. It was covered with environmental damage. But then something very strange happened. The blue face of the planet show up again. Not because we change intentionally our behavior, because a virus locked us down. We are living on a planet around which we have been able to create a landfill with 170 million pieces of space debris. And what we do to the planet itself? We dig inside, hunting for only criteria of success, which is more. More money, more people, more companies, more houses, more cars, more wives, more become the only criteria of success. Ask Fortune 500 members. Ask Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. Ask Bill Gates how they get to the ladder. We are living on a planet together with 8 billion people already, not knowing that 200 years ago it was just 1 billion. Not knowing that 100 years later it was just 1.5, and despite 2 world wars and 2 world pandemics, there is more than 5 times fold people living on a planet. And in 2050 there should be 11 billion people living here. And just now please remember the last image I'll show you. We are living in 206 countries according to UN 193. We are speaking 7,000 languages, riding 1 billion cars, and we let 9 million people die hungry every year, despite the fact that more than 23 million metric tons of food and crop is being wasted every single day. We let 800,000 people die thirsty yearly, despite the fact that only California crude oil industry consume in a single day more than 347 million liters of drinking water. We plant our food to throw it away because the leaves are not green enough for the buyer in a chain store. We put our overproduction in a rivers and on the landfills not to spoil the market price. We carry our water in firefighting tanks not knowing that the same amount of water is needed to produce just one and single hamburger. And we do it on a planet on which one sip of water can save not one, but 2 lives. We are working in factories which put obsolete packaging on a parking lots of employees waiting till it becomes waste. The same factories have walls lined with environmental certificate issued because there was a payment for that. We are wasting products which are not perfect for one, but can fit hundreds and thousands of others. And we do it under the supervision of the World Bank, which says that till 2050, the waste volume should be growing, despite the fact that almost everything can be reused or recycled, but in fact, only 13.5% is being recycled. All these charts has been published in a World Bank report, in one report. This is what made the waste industry the third most profitable industry in the world, following war industry and the crude oil industry. We have to change our education because the aim education of the education should be different. It should improve the ability to learn and understand. It should wake up humans, not to make system components. It should turn curiosity into driving force of development. It should create communication ability, not a monologue. It should strengthen the society through knowledge transfer and cut addiction and dependency on technology and electric power. You may ask why. Have you ever heard the term digital waste? If not, let me introduce it to you. Did you know that 85 to 90% of stored data in data centers will be never used again? Did you know that 75 to 85% of images taken on a smartphone will be immediately obsolete? Did you know that 95% of data scanned by barcode mobile readers are not being utilized at all? Or 75% of users who has weather app in their mobile phone do not look out of the window when they would like to know what is the weather? Do you know that if electric shutdown or blackout will come, you will access no data at all? Maybe you don't know that LinkedIn provide a full analytics to your posts only for 2 years, but no longer. Dear ladies and gentlemen, we have made big mistake because we have built our future on a top of pyramids. For example, the waste pyramid, which does not work. When I realized that, I know that I need to find out a new groundstone. A groundstone which will not be damaged when something happened. And this is how I invented 6R methodology. How does it work? Firstly, you have to recognize that something must not become waste, and trust me, that's not an easy task. The second is even harder because you have to reconsider what you will do with the item which you just saved. And before being successful in the next step, you will probably fail for the first, second, third time. But when you succeed, you will start to change the world. Dear ladies and gentlemen, in 10 years, which I am spending already on the construction site of Wasteless World, I wrote and published almost 5,000 articles. But for this one page, I need 80 years to write. Why so long? Because it must be understandable to everyone and everywhere. So let me introduce to you the first waste prevention framework, the waste prevention policy. Nothing that can be used or utilized again must become waste. Everything must be considered primary as a pre-waste existing resource and remain in the system. The secondary use or utilization is not limited to a primary function of a product or material and can be executed by everyone respecting the rules and regulations and safety conditions. Collecting, sorting, baling and trade are not being considered anymore secondary utilization. And if not utilized on a primary location, it must be offered to others before being wasted. And dear ladies and gentlemen, please understand, there is no waste if we do not waste. And you can check your legal legislation or your legislation, national legislation in your country, because there is not a single one in the world which contain information how waste is being produced. So it must be part of the framework. Wasting is a process in which product or material become waste. Wasting is a system failure and must be prevented first without any limitation or legal restrictions. Wasting is not a feature of a product or material, but the result of human behavior. And single use is one of the most applied forms of wasting. Dear ladies and gentlemen, at the beginning, I name the waste categories. Here they are again. There is a physical waste, which is known as trash or garbage. There is a social waste, which are people and animals, which cannot live meaningful life. And there is urban waste, empty factories, buildings, malls, in a cities filled with people without a roof above their heads. And there is a process waste, which is omnipresent, and very few of you know probably that 55% of the shipping containers are being filled just with air, all around the globe. And there is one very special waste, which is the wasting of time. Because not a single second wasted can be recovered. Dear ladies and gentlemen, Industry 5.0 is the first industrial evolution ever led by man, by human. It's a new mindset of people and businesses from wasteful to wasteless. It delivers results without the need of capital investment. It's based on the principles of systematic waste prevention, and it utilizes the on-the-ground mind. And please understand once, Industry 5.0 is not a sales tool or a buzzword, but it is based on transparency, profit sharing, and efficiency. Dear ladies and gentlemen, we are living in a times where our work was digitalized. Our children education switched from physical to digital in one day. And our leisure times was digitalized long time ago, so it looks like that the only thing needed to be digitalized is human himself. But if we do so, our life will look like this, and this is not a mistake, because data don't need any light. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I realized this fact more than 10 years ago, and I decided I do not want to live on the bottom of a black hole, and I decided to build another world, wasteless world instead. And I realized that the giants start to shrink when the humans start to grow. Don't worry, I'm not alone. My name is Michael Arada. I am human. And there are 111 gates to wasteless world already, delivering the access to systematic waste prevention to people in 111 countries. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you for your time, because you share with me the most valuable asset of your life. I wish you all have a nice time free of waste and wasting in all its forms. Stay safe and free, and let's build wasteless world for all together. Thank you.